Sex is often treated as the ultimate weapon of attraction, but women's desires run far deeper than the physical act itself. What truly stirs them is not the obvious, but the subtle forces that ignite curiosity, admiration, and longing. A man who relies only on sex quickly discovers that excitement fades, while the man who embodies hidden qualities becomes unforgettable. In this analysis, we uncover 5 elements that turn women on far more intensely than sex, shaping not just fleeting attraction, but long-term fascination and emotional grip. Number 1. Discipline and personal ambition. There is something magnetic about a man who knows exactly where he is going. His steps may not always be fast, but they are steady. His choices may sometimes seem difficult, yet they are intentional. This sense of direction, powered by discipline and ambition, has a pull that goes far beyond the superficial charm of compliments, fancy clothes, or momentary displays of confidence. Women are deeply attuned to this quality because it signals something rare: inner strength. Discipline is not simply about waking up early or hitting the gym. It is the visible proof that a man has control over himself. In a world where distractions are endless and temptations are always at the door, self-control becomes a mark of true power. A disciplined man resists the urge to waste time on meaningless pleasures because he is guided by something larger: his long-term goals. That invisible drive makes him stand out, even when he is silent. Women notice when a man is not enslaved by his impulses, and it makes them feel that he cannot be easily swayed by anyone, including themselves. This creates a paradoxical attraction. The harder he is to control, the more desirable he becomes. Ambition, on the other hand, is the fire that fuels discipline. A man without ambition may still be structured, but he lacks the spark that inspires others. Ambition gives purpose to discipline. It paints the picture of a future worth striving for. When a woman observes a man who works tirelessly toward something, whether building a career, mastering a skill, or creating a legacy, she senses that he is not living passively. He is moving forward, climbing, pushing against resistance. This movement triggers her admiration because it resonates with a deep instinct. Women have always been drawn to men who can rise above the crowd and carve out a position of strength in the world. Importantly, discipline and ambition together generate what can be called long-term attraction. Sexual desire may fade quickly if it is based only on looks or momentary charm. But when a woman sees a man's commitment to his mission, she feels that his value is not temporary. It is compounding. Every day he sticks to his path, his worth increases in her eyes. The longer she watches, the more she realizes that his attractiveness is not an accident of the moment, but the natural result of a strong character. This is why discipline and ambition are often described as an invisible magnet. They draw attention without noise, creating curiosity and admiration that no shallow tactic could ever match. There is also a hidden psychological effect. A man with discipline and ambition signals security. He looks like someone who can face chaos without collapsing, someone who will not abandon his responsibilities when life gets tough. This aura of stability is profoundly attractive because it promises something more powerful than fleeting pleasure. It promises safety, growth, and a future. For many women, this sense of reliability is intoxicating, and it overrides superficial attraction. Yet, the absence of discipline and ambition has the opposite effect. A man who drifts without direction, who indulges in every impulse, quickly loses respect. Even if he is physically attractive, his lack of self-mastery exposes weakness. To women, this weakness is not just unattractive, it is a warning sign. It tells them that such a man cannot protect, cannot provide, and cannot lead. In other words, he is replaceable. Therefore, discipline and ambition are not optional traits for men who want to be truly irresistible. They are the foundation of long-lasting attraction, the unshakable proof that a man has power over himself before he tries to influence others. To women, this power is far more stimulating than sex itself. It is not a fleeting spark, but a steady flame, one that burns brighter the longer it is observed. Number 2. Subtlety in observation. One of the most overlooked qualities in a man is his ability to notice what others miss. While most men are preoccupied with their own thoughts or focused only on the obvious, a man who pays attention to the subtleties of human behavior gains a hidden advantage. Women, in particular, are highly sensitive to being truly seen. They live in a world where their emotions are often dismissed or simplified. So when a man can recognize the smallest shifts in mood, the faintest change in tone, or the unspoken signals in body language, it feels extraordinary. This subtlety in observation does not require grand gestures. It is found in the small moments, catching the slight hesitation in her voice when she says, "I'm fine," noticing that she wears a different expression when she walks into the room, or realizing that her silence means more than words ever could. When a man shows he can read these signals, women feel a profound sense of intimacy, not because he touched them, but because he understood them without needing to be told. The psychological effect of this cannot be overstated. To a woman, being deeply understood creates a form of vulnerability that is both terrifying and thrilling. On the one hand, it feels as though her inner world has been exposed. On the other, it makes her feel valued in a way that transcends surface-level attraction. When she realizes that a man sees beyond her smile, beyond her words, she cannot help but feel drawn to him. This attraction runs deeper than physical desire. It shakes her from the inside. It is important to note that subtle observation is not about manipulation. It is about awareness. Women can tell the difference between someone who notices to exploit and someone who notices because he genuinely pays attention. The latter creates trust. Trust, in turn, magnifies attraction. A woman who trusts a man to notice and respond to her unspoken needs will feel connected to him in a way that sex alone could never achieve. Ironically, this quality is rare because it requires patience and presence, two traits that many men lack. Too often, men are distracted, rushing, or self-absorbed. They fail to notice the obvious, let alone the subtle. And this failure communicates something destructive, that she is invisible. Few things turn a woman off more quickly than feeling unseen. Conversely, few things turn her on more deeply than the realization that someone is paying attention, not to her body, but to her essence. When practiced consistently, subtle observation becomes an irresistible force. Women begin to feel as though you can read them better than they can read themselves. This creates a powerful loop of attraction. The more she feels understood, the more she opens up. The more she opens up, the more you can connect at a level beyond words. It is here, in this unspoken communication, that desire becomes something far more potent than sex. It becomes an emotional addiction. Number 3. Intelligent humor. There is a sharp line between humor that attracts and humor that repels. Many men confuse childish jokes or desperate attempts to get a laugh with true wit, but women can sense the difference immediately. Intelligent humor is not about being a clown. It is about timing, subtlety, and the ability to shift the emotional energy in a room. When a man knows how to deploy humor in the right moment, he demonstrates two things at once: awareness and confidence. Imagine a tense situation where everyone feels the weight of silence. One well-placed, clever remark can dissolve the heaviness and make people breathe again. For a woman, witnessing this ability feels intoxicating. It tells her that this man is not overwhelmed by pressure. Instead, he can bend the atmosphere with nothing more than his words. That level of composure is magnetic. It suggests danger and charm at the same time. He is unpredictable, yet controlled. Humor also has a disarming effect. A man who can make a woman laugh is, in essence, sneaking past her defenses. Laughter lowers resistance because it is spontaneous. It cannot be forced. When a woman laughs, she temporarily lets go of her guard, opening herself up emotionally. In that moment, the connection deepens, not because of physical touch, but because she associates the man with relief and joy. It becomes addictive. She wants more of the person who can make her feel that way. But intelligent humor is not random. It is never about trying too hard or forcing a joke into the wrong place. It is about sharp observation, reading the situation, and injecting just the right dose of levity. Too little humor, and you come across as rigid and unapproachable. Too much, and you appear like a fool who cannot be taken seriously. Balance is everything. Women admire a man who knows when to be serious, but who also has the courage and creativity to twist a serious moment into laughter when needed. There is also an underlying signal within intelligent humor: mastery of emotions. A man who can make others laugh, especially under stress, proves that he himself is not enslaved by tension. He is calm enough to see beyond the surface, quick enough to respond with wit, and confident enough to risk a joke. To women, this mixture of boldness and control is irresistible. It paints him as both playful and powerful, a combination that triggers curiosity and desire. On the flip side, men who misuse humor destroy attraction. Crude jokes, inappropriate comments, or needy attempts to entertain all signal insecurity. Women do not laugh at these. They cringe. And every cringe is a small fracture in respect. Over time, this kills attraction faster than silence ever could. Therefore, intelligent humor should not be underestimated. It is not about entertainment. It is about influence. When you can alter a woman's emotional state with a single remark, you have power over the moment. That power, handled with care, makes her see you as someone she cannot ignore. And in many cases, that spark of wit ignites something far more lasting than physical desire. Number 4. Social influence and status. There is a silent test that women apply to men without ever announcing it. How do others see him? It is not enough for a man to declare his own value. Value must be reflected back through the eyes of others. Social influence, or the ability to command respect within a group, becomes one of the strongest forms of attraction. Women may not consciously measure it, but they feel it immediately when they observe how people respond to a man. When a man walks into a room and people turn their heads, when friends listen attentively to his words, or when colleagues trust his judgment, he radiates a kind of power that no expensive outfit can replicate. This is not arrogance, nor is it forced charisma. It is the natural byproduct of competence, consistency, and integrity displayed over time. Women see how others treat him, and they instinctively conclude, if he is valued by many, there must be something special about him. This is not merely a social illusion. It is deeply rooted in biology. For thousands of years, women have been wired to seek partners who can provide protection, stability, and resources. A man who is admired and respected socially signals all of these things at once. His status tells her he can lead, he can influence, and he can survive in competitive environments. This subconscious calculation is why social influence often turns women on more powerfully than direct seduction. Unlike superficial attraction, social value cannot be faked for long. A man may try to impress with flashy possessions or exaggerated stories, but women are skilled at noticing the truth. Do others actually respect him, or is he just trying too hard? Authentic social influence emerges from genuine contributions, whether it is leadership, knowledge, or the ability to unite people. It is the echo of a man's worth, bouncing back from the community around him. The psychological effect is profound. When a woman sees that others admire a man, her perception of him shifts instantly. Even small gestures, like people laughing at his comments, asking for his advice, or seeking his approval, serve as constant reminders of his higher value. To her, being close to him feels like stepping into a larger world, one filled with opportunity and significance. The attraction here is not just personal, it is aspirational. She doesn't only want the man, she wants the life that comes with him. On the other hand, the absence of social influence has the opposite effect. If a man is ignored, dismissed, or treated as irrelevant by others, women notice. It sends a silent warning. He is invisible to the world, therefore his value is low. Even if he is kind or physically attractive, lack of social proof makes him appear replaceable. And nothing extinguishes desire faster than the suspicion that a man has no place in the hierarchy of respect. This is why social influence is often more seductive than sex. A man who is recognized and admired does not need to chase attention. Attention comes to him. Women feel this gravitational pull and are drawn not just to the man himself, but to the network of respect and influence that surrounds him. To them, he is not merely an individual, he is a gateway to significance, and that makes his presence almost impossible to resist. Number 5. The ability to inspire. Beyond appearance, status, or even physical intimacy, one of the deepest attractions for women lies in a man's ability to inspire. This is not about preaching or lecturing. It is about embodying a way of living that makes others, especially women, want to rise higher. A man who inspires does not need to convince anyone of his worth. His actions, mindset, and vision speak louder than words. When a woman encounters such a man, she feels something rare: elevation. She does not simply admire him. She begins to imagine how her own life could transform by being close to him. Inspiration plants a powerful seed of desire, not for fleeting pleasure, but for growth. Women crave the sense that a relationship with a man is not only exciting, but also expanding, pushing them beyond their comfort zone and helping them unlock new versions of themselves. The source of this inspiration is not arrogance, but authenticity. A man who pursues his passions with relentless energy, who refuses to settle for mediocrity, naturally ignites curiosity. His dedication to improvement, whether in his career, health, or personal development, radiates a contagious energy. Women are drawn to that fire because it signals vitality and purpose. It whispers, life with him will never be stagnant. Psychologically, this quality taps into something deeper than attraction. It touches aspiration. A woman does not only want to be desired, she wants to be uplifted. When a man inspires her, she associates him with possibility. He becomes more than a partner. He becomes a catalyst. And that role is intoxicating because it gives their connection a higher meaning. Contrast this with the opposite. Men who drag women down with negativity, complacency, or a lack of vision. Instead of inspiring, they drain. Such men may still attract temporarily, through looks or charm, but over time their absence of drive suffocates attraction. Women quickly sense when a man offers no growth, no spark, no future, and the allure dies. The ability to inspire is therefore one of the most powerful turn-ons that surpasses sex. Physical attraction fades if it stands alone, but inspiration deepens over time. Every time she sees him overcome obstacles, pursue goals, or simply live with passion, she feels renewed desire. It is not just attraction to the man, it is attraction to the life he represents. And that kind of attraction is nearly impossible to replace. Attraction is never as simple as most people want to believe. It is not built on looks alone, nor on sex, nor on empty gestures. What truly pulls people together lies beneath the surface. Forces that shape how we see ourselves and how others see us. Women are not merely searching for excitement. They are searching for a man whose presence shifts the energy of the room. A man who makes them feel something they cannot easily explain yet cannot walk away from. And this is where many men fail. Not because they lack charm, but because they rely on shallow tricks while ignoring the deeper forces that actually matter. So here's the question for you. Do you want to remain ordinary? Or do you want to step into the rare category of men who are unforgettable? If you understand what truly drives desire, you hold the power that most will never touch. But if you ignore it, you become replaceable, just another face in the crowd. If this message challenges you, or sparks something inside you, leave a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel for more content that goes beyond the surface and cuts into the truth.